everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Lady Rose. Remember to keep it cool, classy, never trashy unless they try you, and you got to get nasty. And remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Okay, so in today's video, I came across this post on Twitter/X, and it basically says, I feel like the Black community is quick to have a child, but marriage is when they draw the line. Just my opinion. Now, this post was actually made after someone posted a video of white women flashing their engagement rings after graduation. And I honestly and truly believe that people don't understand the premise behind marriage and why marriage is not a thing. Now, I don't want to talk about this in the scope of the male gaze and why men won't marry women and all of this stuff. I want to just talk about marriage as a whole and why marriage is not made for some people. It's okay that you don't want to get married. It's okay that marriage is not your end all be all. And I say this as someone who is currently married. Someone who is married with a child. And I do understand why some people don't think marriage is something that is for them. Now, that's not how I felt. I never dreamt about getting married. Let me just be honest and completely transparent. I've always been a free spirit. I don't like the idea of someone chaining themselves to me and someone making requirements based off of how I can live my life and how I can enjoy life. I've always been free spirit and marched to the beat of my own drum, wanted to do what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it, but then I met the love of my life, and we're very much both free thinkers, free people. We don't control one another. We honestly have this thing where we understand that marriage is a contract, and a contract can be renegotiated at any time. You can accept or decline the deal or the terms, but at the end of the day, the way that we run our marriages, we're partners. At the end of the day, first and foremost, we're partners. We love each other, but it is not our job to police the other. It is not our job to control the other. It is not our job to hold the other back. If there's something that I want out of life, my husband is going to figure out how he can go get it for me. And that's something that I love. He's never tried to hold me back. He's never told me what I can or can't do. But for a lot of women, for a lot of people in general, they don't view marriage the same way. Until the late 20th century, marriage was rarely a matter of free will and free choice. Marriage was ultimately a way to enslave women and auction them off to the highest bidder for status and financial gain. I don't think I have to explain how problematic that is. Why do you think women don't want to get married? Because the premise around marriage, the socially constructed premise around marriage, is that the woman takes care of the house, she takes care of the man, and she takes care of the children. She is basically a house slave. The premise of marriage is to be a house slave.
Oh, hell no!
Socially, the social premise of marriage is to be a house slave. I don't know about you, but I's free. I's free.
I'm free.
I ain't nobody's slave. You gonna cook this food 2 to 3 times a week. You gonna wash these dishes. You gonna watch your kids. I am not your slave. And for people to not understand why women don't want to get married because they don't want to feel controlled, marriage in a social construct way is a form of slavery. So why do people get married? Very rarely. People do get married for love. And as someone that's married, love ain't enough, honey. I need cash, dinero, checks.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Coins. Love don't pay bills. Love don't buy food. Love don't put food on the table. Love don't put clothes on your back. Love is not a good enough reason to get married. So if that's the reason you're getting married, yes, it's a good start. But you have to have a plan in place. And a lot of people don't. I got married fresh out of college. broke as hell, don't got nothing to my name, no assets, no nothing, and we felt it. We've had to grow together. Everything that we've earned together as a team, which is beautiful, but also it's caused a lot of issues because I like nice things, and every time that I want something, my husband gonna figure out how to go get it. It don't matter if he gotta get 2, 3, 4 jobs, he's gonna figure out how to get to where we need to be, and that's something that I love about him. But not every man is like that. Some people marry for a better life, for status and financial gain. Some people marry over the pressures of society and loved ones. Have you ever heard, so when you getting married, when you gonna give me a grandbaby, when you gonna have kids, when you gonna settle down and have kids? None of your goddamn business.
Mind your damn motherfucking business, bitch.
If that is something that I want to do, I'm gonna simply just do it. If I haven't done it yet, it's because I haven't found someone I want to do that with, or I don't want it yet. So mind your business. You should not be getting married to have children. And I know that seems contradictory, but I look at marriage and children as two different things. Yes, I do think you should have children with someone that you love, with someone that you trust, with someone that you know will be a good partner, a good parent, someone that will be there for their children, and choosing who you have a child with is very important. But you should not have a child just because you are married. That's not the same as wanting a child. Does that make sense? You should get married because you want to be married. You should have a child because you want to have a child. If your goal in life is to be married with a family, that's different. Your goal was to be married. Your goal was to have a family. You wanted both of those things. But just because you are married, it doesn't mean you want a child. And just because you want a child, it doesn't mean you want to be married. And that's okay. That's all right. That's fine. It's not a problem. It's a problem with society, but it's okay for you to do things your own way. Now, why do people get divorced? Almost 50% of all marriages in the United States will end in divorce or separation. And I used to think people were just yapping about the main reasons why people get divorced, but to be completely honest, it's true. It's true. The main reasons why people get divorced is sex, money, and communication. That's it. Sex. Women fake it a lot. Like me personally, I could never fake it. If it ain't hidden, it ain't hidden. And a lot of people don't understand that the movies, they make it seem like you're just in this mystical, magical, just wave of love, and every time you it's great. But they don't understand that when you have children, you're gonna have to turn over to the side, pull your panties down, and get in a quickie before the baby wake up. Like, they don't understand every time you have sex, it's not gonna be like the movies. And that's okay. What matters is connection, sensuality. What matters is affection. People put so much emphasis on the sex, they don't put emphasis on the physical touch, on the sensuality, on the affection part. It's like, do we hug? Do we hold hands? Do we just like be in each other's presence? Like, I love you. You know what I'm saying? And then of course, sex on the side of people lust and cheat. And it's crazy though, because I do understand, like, you're supposed to be with one person for the rest of your life. Like, that sounds insane. That sounds crazy. That sounds stupid. Why would anybody want that? Because you get bored. People don't understand. You will get bored. Like, you will get tired of this person. There will be times where you look at this person and you be like, I don't even want to speak to you today.
Everybody gets tired, but specifically today, I'm just tired of you.
I don't even want to see you today. And that's okay. Every day is not going to be picture perfect, amazing. And people don't get that, because at the end of the day, even though you're married, it's not a fairy tale. You're still people. This is still reality. You still have to work every day. You still have to communicate. And then money. The lack of financial stability can reduce the quality of life and cause issues in a marriage. I mean, honestly, a lot of women that marry for money, I understand. I get it. I used to think, oh, you gold diggers. until I married my college sweetheart fresh out of college, and we ain't had no money. And then we had a baby, and we're just now starting to get things together financially. And honestly, that's been a problem for me personally, because when I fresh got out of the pandemic, like when I first graduated, it was out of the pandemic. The first job I ever had out of the pandemic, I was working at Bath and Body Works, and I was making $11 an hour. Granted, I make a whole lot more now, but that's not enough to take care of a family. I couldn't even take care of myself. I couldn't even wipe my ass with $11 an hour. So how was I supposed to pay rent, phone bill, electric, and take care of myself, my nails, hair, all of that, and support a spouse? Because let's be honest, nowadays, one income is not enough, especially living in a major city. 2 incomes is damn near not enough. But 1 income is not enough to support 2 people. Unless you're making buku bucks, which a lot of people aren't. 2 incomes is barely enough to support more than 2 people, and let alone a family. So that caused a lot of issues for me internally, which then transferred into my relationship. And although we've worked through all of that, at the end of the day, we're going to work through everything because we love each other and we want to be together, and that's my person and that's it. But I understand women that marry for money. So, communication. Now, being able to effectively communicate one's emotions and desires is important. We are constantly changing as people, and being able to articulate those changes in a marriage is important. People don't understand that a lot of the times it's not about cheating. It's not about the money that makes people divorce. It's the communication. It's the lack thereof. Or the fact that the only time we communicate, or the only time they communicate, is through arguments and fighting and yelling and just toxicity. That's what pushes people to get divorced. And a lot of the times, people have never seen a successful marriage. A lot of people, a lot of children have gone through a divorce, and they're so scared of putting their future children through that, they don't even want to get married in the first place. Now, what makes a successful marriage? Communication. Understanding that you will not always be the same people in growing together. Knowing when to give each other space. Working on yourselves as individuals. Not listening to how others believe your marriage should be, and creating your own dynamic. Understanding you do not own each other. We are not property. We are our own separate people. And together, we can come together and create an entity and a bond that is beautiful. And I feel like that is super, super important. Don't listen to society. Society says that the man should be working, the woman should be in the house. You don't have to do shit that way. There doesn't have to be a provider. You both can be a provider. You both can take care of the house. Or you can switch it, vice versa. However you feel it works for your family or your marriage is what you should do. Don't listen to what other people say a marriage should be. Create your own dynamic. Marriage can be a beautiful thing, but it is not the end all be all for you to live a fulfilled life. The feeling of growing with someone and having unconditional love until the day that you die can be comforting for some people. But for others, marriage is their biggest fear. And that's okay. We need to stop trying to force people to get married, because that's part of the reason why people get divorced. A lot of people just get married because it makes sense. Oh, we've been dating for a long time and it just makes sense for us to get married. If you're just getting married because it makes sense, then it don't make sense. Like, come on. Like, if you want to be married, be married. If you don't, don't. And at the end of the day, mind your business. So, all I have to say, thank you for tuning in. Thank you. This is Lady Rose. Remember to keep it cool, classy, never trashy unless they try you and you got to get nasty. And remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'm out.